Thank you. Chair recognizes.
Thank you for your courtesy on the time. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Ms. Stefanik from New York.
Thank you. Governor Hochul, on your first day in office, you signed Executive Order 1. Is that correct?
I believe it is.
And you extended this executive order not once, not twice, but 3 times, most recently January 16th of this year. Is that correct?
If that's what your facts show, I signed countless executive orders.
I would assume you'd know it's
laws.
Executive Order 1. And this is a continuation of your predecessor's sanctuary state policies, correct? Is included in that.
I want to be sure we are defining sanctuary state properly.
I'll define it for you. It is the policy of the state that state officers or employees shall not disclose information to federal immigration authorities for the purpose of federal civil immigration enforcement. It goes on to say, law enforcement officers may not use resources, equipment, or personnel for the purpose of detecting and apprehending any individual suspected or wanted for violating a civil immigration office. Law enforcement officers have no authority in the state of New York to take any policy action solely because the person is an undocumented alien. That's a quote in your executive orders that you extended. Now,
what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so once again, let's go back in time a little bit because there's no new committee hearings. So let's go ahead and cover this one because this one is quite good. Stefanik is absolutely a savage. Just goes in and just ravages Kathy Hochul on this one. But there's no defense. What do you do in this situation when your state comes up with laws that actually impede, they subvert the federal immigration enforcement? They actively undermine the federal government. How do you defend that at all? It's fascinating, y'all, but y'all do me that favor and smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here. Share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. And if you would be so inclined, click that join button. I'd love to have you on board. It's great. It really is. Y'all sign up and become a member. But without any further ado, let's get into this thing.
do you know who Sakir Akan is?
I want to get back to the first part.
No,
of
I'm
your
asking a question. Do you know who Sakir Akan is?
I want to make sure you understand that this simply says that we will cooperate with ICE.
No, it does not say that. I read what it says, and
cooperate.
let me talk to you about the results. Do you know who Sakir Akan is? You should, as the governor of New York State. Do you know?
Refresh my recollection.
He was an illegal migrant in New York. And do you know what crime he committed in addition to being here illegally?
No, I do not.
You do not. This was widely reported. He found a 15-year-old girl, threatened her with a metal pole, told her to get into the back seat of his car, he took her clothes off, and he violently raped her in Albany, New York. Do you know who Sebastian Zapita Khalil is?
I'm sure you'll tell me there's many cases, whether they're
These are
here-
high-profile cases.
Yes.
New Yorkers know about them, and you don't. So let's talk about Sebastian Zapita Khalil. Do you know who that is?
I don't have the specific details at my disposal, no.
Well, this is an illegal migrant in New York because of your sanctuary state policies. Do you know what crime he committed?
I'm not familiar at this moment.
I bet you're going to be familiar when I remind you. He found a sleeping woman on the subway, lit her on fire, and burned her alive. This is in Kathy Hochul's New York. And as I'm sure you are aware, and I'll remind you, that ICE issued an order to detain this violent criminal, but that was rejected by New York officials due to sanctuary state laws. Now, do you know who Raymond Rojas Basilio is?
I just want to say this. These crimes are horrific.
Because of
condemn
your
them,
because of
and I
your
would say
sanctuary state policies.
In all of these cases, we would work with ICE to remove
You
them.
did not in this case. They are
If they need
walking
our
on the
assistance.
streets because of your policies and your executive order that you signed 3 times. Now, Raymond Rojas Basilio, do you know who that is?
I'm telling you this. I will
You don't know
explain to you
who it
the
is.
policies of New York. We cooperate with, I know you're just
You do
trying
not.
to
You do not. Specifically,
miss-
ICE was told not to detain this individual, and he burned a woman alive on the New York subways in Kathy Hochul's New York. So I will keep on going. What about Raymond Rojas Basilio? Do you know who that is?
I'm going to tell you our overall policy, which will address all this.
I'll tell
We
you
do
who
not-
that is. He is an illegal who molested an 11-year-old in our state because, again, of your sanctuary state policies. This illegal was shielded from federal immigration enforcement and able to commit this heinous crime. And what about Wilson Castillo Diaz? Do you know who that
I am
is?
telling you this. We do cooperate fully with ICE in criminal prosecution. Our sanctuary
You're not advocating for
regulations
these victims.
only deal with
This is a
civil
5-year-old who
enforcement.
was raped
Civil
on Long
enforcement.
Island in Nassau County. You are not advocating on behalf of these victims. You are shielding illegals. Even in your opening statement,
That is
you
not true.
prioritize putting illegals first.
That is not
Rapes
true.
of young girls, beatings of NYPD cops by illegals who are here under Kathy Hochul's failed policies, burning New Yorkers alive. This is Kathy Hochul's New York. It's one of the many reasons why you're hemorrhaging support from hardworking New York
These are
families.
horrific crimes, and they're
They're
heartbreaking.
horrific crimes that are committed on your watch. You signed this executive order on your first day in office. You signed it again and again this January. We deserve a governor who stands up for law-abiding New Yorkers, doesn't put illegals first, but actually puts New Yorkers first. I appreciate
Rather than
the
going
chairman's-
after the viral moment, I suggest you look at the facts.
I'm standing up for New Yorkers.
No.
Rather than addressing the illegals in New York, you are prioritizing your far-left sanctuary state policies, which you put in place with executive orders. Instead of advocating
We
for
cooperate
victims,
in all
a
those
5-year-old
cases.
who
We
was raped,
cooperate with ICE.
you did not. They were released
We
because
cooperate
of
with
sanctuary
ICE.
state
We
policies in New
cooperate
York
with
State.
law
No
enforcement.
amount of words is going to clean up your failed record and these horrific crimes committed in sanctuary state that you created. And with that, I
Your
yield back.
representation, the facts,
Gentlelady
absolutely false.
yields back.
Absolutely
Chair
false.
recognizes.
It's just absolutely brutal and worth every single minute of it. And she deserves it, to be honest with you. You know, it's something that politicians do that I really don't like all that much. They'll try to use crime and stuff like this to bludgeon these people over the head with politically. And I kind of don't like it because, you know, crime happens. However, you know, when your policies, when you can trace the steps and your policies directly lead to crimes being committed, then that's another story. When we're talking about sanctuary city policies where they actively undermine federal law enforcement, the immigration enforcement and all these other things, they intentionally release criminals back onto the streets, even though ICE call them up. Hey, look, can you hang on to this person? We're going to come pick them up. They're in the country illegally. They committed a crime. They need to be deported. And when these local sanctuary states and cities let these criminals go and undermine federal law enforcement, they deserve every single minute of this. She deserves to be impeached in disgrace. She needs to resign, currently needs to resign. These democratic policies are destroying cities. These soft on crime policies just do not work. I think the last 10 years has been a pretty good experiment to prove factually that these soft on crime policies do not work. They only beget more crime. That's all that happens. That's all that comes from this. You put violent criminals back out onto the street. Do you think they just turned over a new leaf all of a sudden? No, they're going to get back out there and continue doing the same thing that they were doing. They need to be taught a lesson. They need to pay the piper, for crying out loud. They must be held accountable. And that's something that these sanctuary cities, they just, I don't understand, honestly, the logic behind these. Right? It was bad under the Biden administration, right? The only thing we can resort to, once again, we take it back, the only benefit that Democrats get from advocating for these insane policies is they derive more power when the census comes around and happens to count these people. But, you know, that argument can be, I guess, worked around a little bit because they could just lie on the census is all they got to do to flub the numbers. And there's a lot of people that believe that, you know, that we've been lying on the census for a while. Democrats have been lying. They've gained so much power, so many seats in Congress. It's absolutely ridiculous. There's, I don't know, I think it was 6 or 7 states that have absolutely no Republican representatives. That's fascinating, don't you think? Now, sure, some of those states have only one district. Yeah, I get it, right? You kind of get that. Right, like look at Massachusetts. They voted, I think, 40% for Donald Trump. No Republican representatives at all. It's fascinating. It really is. But these sanctuary policies, and I love the Trump administration and what they're doing. They're going after these people because this is only inciting more violence, more crime because of these illegals that they come into the country, right? These are not your run-of-the-mill migrants, right? And I delineate between these all the time. I try to tell people, I try to get the word out to make sure people know, because if you just listen to the corporate press, they're all migrants. No, they're not, as a matter of fact. There's a big difference between migrants, criminal aliens, undocumented or illegal migrants. There's a difference between all of those things, right? Migrants are the people that actually do the right thing. They go through the process, they stand in line, they get their ID, they get their card, they get their citizenship, whatever it may be, green card, visa, whatever it is. And they follow the law. They come into this country, they're productive members of society. Those are migrants. They migrated to this country for a better life. This Donald Trump is not going after these people at all. He's deported 0 migrants. You might think that's absurd. No, he's only deported mostly criminal aliens. And a criminal alien, like we always talk about, that's the people that just don't care about our system at all. And as a matter of fact, I've got a video talking about some new policy that is going to be pretty good. That's coming up next. I think it's the next video or the one after that. It might be my 9 o'clock in the morning video, so y'all make sure and stay tuned. But criminal aliens, these people do not care. It's the people that just come across the border in between ports of entry and try to evade Border Patrol and just come into the country. That's where most of your criminals come in. And you got to wonder, like, these sanctuary policies are upholding, they are shielding these criminals from accountability, folks. That's what they are doing. They'll tell you, oh, it's compassion. We want these people to feel safe. Why? Why do you want criminals to feel safe? That makes absolutely no sense. You want these criminals to go to school and all this? No, these people are not productive members of society. They work on behalf of the cartels a lot of the times, not exclusively, but a lot of the times they work on behalf of the cartels doing whatever it is, right? Look at Abrego Garcia. This dude was an MS-13 gang member, allegedly, and he was smuggling humans. As a matter of fact, I saw a news article. I'm not going to cover it because I'm tired of covering that dude. But he made a statement to the corporate press, and they wrote up a whole news article about it, saying that this whole human smuggling, oh, this is just vindictive prosecution. You know what? No, it's not. I'm sorry. He's lying. His lawyers, whoever it is, are lying. Because you know why? You know why that's a blatant lie, and I can prove it? They didn't have to bring that dude back. They could have left him to rot in CCOT, for crying out loud. They could have left him to rot. But no, they brought him back here because accountability, not vindictive prosecution. He could have been serving his time for the rest of his life, probably, in that prison. That would be just good enough for me. But no, new evidence came to light. We got to hold people accountable. That's what this country is about. Equal application of the law. But Democrats don't seem to get this. And, you know, like getting back to what I was talking about earlier, illegal immigrants, these are people that actually go through the process. They get their green card or visa or whatever it may be, and then they overstay that visa and don't renew it, which that's almost just as bad as coming across the border illegally, right? You know, at least they tried, sure, but, you know, it's not hard to go renew these things. They give you plenty of time to do so. They give you plenty of time after it expires, for crying out loud. So there's really no excuse. I mean, I just don't understand people's mindset, right? Think about it like this. You take the corporate press narrative that these people, no, they just want a better life. Well, if you want a better life, don't you think you would try to do the right thing? You would not violate laws. That, oh, look, if you need to pay a bill, you know, you should probably try your hardest to pay it on time. Don't you think that would be the case? But do these people do that? No. No, they don't. So they're not here for a better life. I'm tired of all this toxic compassion that tries to play on your emotions, because this is what Democrats do. I've been thinking about this heavily for a while now. Look at all their arguments. Every single argument they make about anything. Doesn't matter the topic. It's all emotions. They rarely argue statistics. Rarely. And if they do, it's always the statistics are embedded within an emotional argument. Always, folks. Every single argument is always emotion. I always try to argue on equal application of the law. I mean, we must be fair. That is fundamental to a free society, for crying out loud. It's fundamental. Because what incentive do you have to not break the law if you are going to be targeted for committing a crime and somebody else may not be targeted for committing a totally different crime? There would be an incentive right there to go and commit that crime that, yeah, they just don't enforce it. So you're like, oh, they don't enforce it. I'm just going to go ahead and go break that law. We must have this. It is absolutely fundamental. You know, Blackstone's formulation is wrapped up in all this as well. It's better to let 10 guilty persons escape than have one innocent person suffer. And that's fundamental right there. Equal application of the law, because there is no incentive structure for you to actually be a productive member of society if police can just come in and target you for no apparent reason. Right? If you're an innocent person that gets wrapped up into the system, there's no incentive to stay on the straight and narrow, essentially, is what I'm getting at. But I've rambled on for too long. So y'all don't forget to smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here. Share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. And sign up, become a member. Click that join button, y'all. You know you want to. And you guys out there, y'all remember that God is always with us, and He loves each and every one of you, even if you do not know Him. Come to Jesus. That's what I would tell you. Go and find Jesus. Have a talk with Him. I know that may sound weird, but trust me, it works. Y'all do all that for me, and y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.